Once again, Pogo releases an album at the very end of the previous year, and now I'm just getting caught up to it. But that's okay, because it's worth it to review these albums. I'm ready. Cultures is the 10th full-length album released by Pogo, and we're going to review that here today on Y.E.S. As I had mentioned in the intro, Pogo released this at the very end of 2020, and I had other albums I had to catch up on, so I'm reviewing it now. Continuing on his style of plunderphonics, we are getting samples from quite a variety of things in here, which is good. I like certain things that he samples more than others, but in this one, we get to see kind of a variety, and that already speaks volumes of what he is able to do. And then it also kind of helps me understand which things I think I am enjoying slightly more than others. I'm going to talk about the highlights for me personally first, and then I'm going to allude to a few things where it feels like I'm starting to notice what it is I like most about Pogo, and the things that are not bad, I just don't care as much for. The first song I am dying to highlight is not the first track in here. Usually his albums, I really like the first track. It's not a rule, but it's something I've noticed. But it's the second song in here, called Mozel. It's a beautifully organized cluster of sounds compiled from the musical Fiddler on the Roof, which I only actually recently watched last year, which, is fitting, I guess, for the review coming out now. The original singing vocals and kind of the moods that are portrayed in that musical are captured pretty well, actually, in the song itself, because it goes in a couple of different directions, but I think it is actually trying to capture all of that all together. So much like my facial expressions, it's going in a variety of different ways, but you kind of get the idea, and it is just simply a beautiful project. The second song I would love to highlight is titled Gan Bate. From what I read, I think that he's sampling something from Muppets or Sesame Street. I think it's Muppets. I don't really hear the sampling. Maybe I'm just not familiar with what it is. But the sound itself is fantastic, and its electric guitar is definitely the element that's captivating me and keeping me listening throughout the whole thing. Now, if you're looking for maybe a classic kind of sound for Pogo, listen to the song Greendale. Now, this is sampling from Postman Pat, not Community, okay? Greendale, I get that, okay? Like, I wish it was a Community song. Maybe he'll do that in the future. I would encourage that, but for now, no, it's Postman Pat. There is maybe a little bit of extra spice I wish was, thrown on top of it, but it is definitely capturing Pogo's classic style that you maybe want to call basic, but hardly anything you could consider Pogo compared to other music could be considered that basic. But despite that, I did allude that there are things that I'm just less impressed by, and there was actually several songs in here where I kind of felt like it was a little bit less for me on a personal level. Not Pogo's creative juices per se, just maybe it wasn't capturing me personally. The first song I want to highlight, still on the positive side, is the song What It Do, which samples Kawhi Leonard, which at first I was like, is this Kawhi Leonard? Because I heard quotes that sounded like stuff from the time when he was with the Raptors, and I'm just like, I have to confirm this because it's going to drive me wild if it's not. I could tell it's probably an NBA player. Sure enough, yep, Kawhi Leonard. That was really clever. It's just that the musical element afterward, just kind of after a while, just felt like it was just alright. The song All For You actually does include Pogo's voice in here, and that shocked me. It's kind of like getting Calvin Harris to be able to use his voice in something. We all know that it happens we're just kind of surprised when it does, usually still, for some reason. I was happy to see him taking a musical risk in this one. It's just another one where I'm just like, I'm alright with this. It's like, I'm not head over heels, I'm alright with it. And then the last song I'd kind of like just to talk about, where I'm not sure how to actually tackle it, because I am not trying to say it's a bad song. None of these songs are bad, actually. They really aren't. I'm just starting to realize what things I'm personally connecting to more than others that he is putting out here. It's the song Doubtfire, which, yes, it does sample Mrs. Doubtfire. The thing with this song is that, despite the fact that it's an older movie, I mean, most of the elements he samples are older, very subjective kind of thing, but just kind of some of the elements felt like it was kind of his early work. I feel like I wouldn't have loved or disliked this song any more or less of any element when he released it. It just feels like this is something that he would have released when he was just first starting out. It's just something that I'm hearing and self-interpreting myself. And again, if you love this song, that's wonderful. I really am happy for you. I just feel like it's just kind of there. It's kind of how I feel with about half the songs in here, which I have to keep emphasizing. I am not disliking the songs in this album. I'm just recognizing I have only maybe 3 or 4 that I'm really loving and probably am going to put in my shuffle. It's really what it comes down to. Despite that, I encourage all of you to go check this album for yourself and make up your own minds about it. If this album's going to be your first exposure to Pogo, I'd actually encourage you to check out some other things like Kindred Shadow, Ascend. There's some other things in there which I think you would really gravitate to a little bit more. But I am going to keep stressing, you are not going to find anyone who makes music like this anywhere else. So, after having listened and reviewed this album, I'm going to give production a B+, creativity a C+, expression and lyrics a B, and how would I recommend this album? I'm going to give it a good. It's still not a bad project, so I'm going to give it a good. It's there. It's just, I don't have as much emotional attachment to it, except for a few of the songs that I highlighted, especially Mozel. Please check that song out. It is wonderful. And because I'm kind of feeling funny about the review that I'm presenting here, I actually think I'm going to do another review. I think I'll tackle one of his EPs. So be on the lookout for that, because I have so much of his music that I want to review. I just am trying to catch up with so much, but because of this review, I feel like I need to review one of the albums or EPs that I really love. And eventually, I know I'm going to tackle his entire discography. I just have to find out how I can lead up to that. Maybe if he gives me a hint when his next one goes down, I can lead up to that. Wink, wink, nod, nod, maybe. But the point is, I'm going to review another music project. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me in my... As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me in my social media links down in the description below, and be sure to leave a like for the video as well as a comment down below if you want to engage with me. And remember, if you want to discover, promote, and review the best in entertainment, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can get that yes in your life. See you next time.